Last part of today's lesson are what we call special right triangles. Now they're called special right triangles because they hold special properties, or I should say special patterns. So the first special right triangle that we're going to look at is in example number 5. And in example number 5, this is showing the special right triangle, which we call a 45, 45, 90 triangle. We call it that because those are the angles on it. Now, a 45, 45, 90 triangle has two specific patterns. The first pattern, if you'll notice right here, is that the two small sides are the same. So this is what we would call an isosceles triangle. An isosceles has two sides that are the same. So anytime you have a 45, 45, 90, the two small sides are the same. So if this x was a 7, then this one would also be a 7. If this x was a 52 root 5, this would also be a 52 root 5. They would always be identical no matter what they are. Now let's talk about the second pattern. This second pattern relates these two small sides to this one big side. Now, here's the special pattern that you're going to want to memorize. This big side will always be the small side times root 2. Always, always. So if this x is 7, then this side would be 7 root 2. It's always whatever this small side is times root 2. Now, let's say I'm given the big side and I want to go the other direction. I want to find the small side. Well, now I'm going to divide by root 2, the opposite. And this should make some sense. If I'm going from a smaller side to a bigger side, then I multiply, because multiplying makes things bigger. If I'm going from a bigger side to a smaller side, then I divide, because dividing makes things smaller. It's the same magical root 2 number, that's the special pattern, but depending on what direction we're going, if we're getting bigger, we multiply by that magic number. If we're getting smaller, we divide by that magic number. So the second pattern, to get from small sides to big sides, multiply, and I'll put in parentheses, or divide, by root 2. That's our magic number, by root 2. Now, let's go through some examples of what this looks like so you can see it. So I'm going to go to your assignment, and we're going to look for some 45, 45, 90s. So let's start with number 4 right there. This is a 45, 45, 90. Remember, our first rule is that our small sides are always the same. So if this is 2 root 3, then this one is also 2 root 3. Small sides are the same. Our second rule is to get from the small sides to the big side, I multiply or divide by root 2. So let's figure out if we're multiplying or dividing first. I'm going from small, and then I'm getting bigger. So if I want to go from small to big, multiplying makes things bigger. So I'm going to multiply by my magic number, root 2. So I'm going to take this side, 2 root 3, times by root 2. Now, just so you know, any numbers that are inside the roots, you can combine together, so you get 2 root 6, actually. And those are our answers. Let's try another one. Let's do number 5 on this assignment. This is also a 45, 45, 90. So remember, rule number 1, the small sides are the same. So that small side is also a 5. Rule number 2, to get from small sides to big sides, I will either multiply or divide by root 2. So let's see if we're going to multiply or divide. I'm going from a small side to a bigger side. So to get from smaller to bigger, I multiply. Multiplying makes things bigger by my magic number, root 2. So I'm going to take that 5, multiply by root 2, and that one doesn't simplify, so that's my answer. Okay, now let's do one more as a class. Number 6. I would like you to try this one on your own, so pause the video, try filling this one out on your own, and then come back and see how you did. Okay, let's see. First off, the small sides are the same, so they're both root 2. Second, I'm going from a smaller side to a bigger side, so I'm going to multiply, because multiplying makes things bigger. So I'm going to have root 2 times root 2. I can put those under the same root, so 2 times 2 is root 4, which is just 2. And there we go. That is your 45, 45, 90 special triangle, and you should be able to do number 7 on your homework now for your in-class practice for sticker. In the last video for today, we'll go over the last special right triangle, which is called a 30, 60, 90 special right triangle.